concerned about power dynamics. In fact, he analyzes, and this is one of the ways in which he's a brilliant psychologist, he analyzes so many things that people treat as what they appear to be in terms of people's justifications and explanations of things as really collisions of different efforts to maintain or gain power within a situation. This notion of power has a number of dimensions that I think are relevant to the whole issue of style. One of them is simply that he thinks all of us are motivated by the desire for power, control, ability to assert our own influence in the situation and not be controlled by it. And that, of course, as soon as other human beings enter the picture, is going to involve interacting with them and their own similar desire to control the situation as much as possible. As a matter of fact, we tend also to want to think of ourselves in certain ways because those ways are empowering. So there's a certain motivation for deception on two levels here already. One is to present things to other people in a way that is going to maximize one's own influence. The second is to present oneself to oneself in such a way as to feel influential, to actually think of oneself as empowered, because he recognizes that one of the ways of being confident and empowered in the world is to just assume the pose. So already there's a tendency to incline toward deception. It's simply something he thinks comes with any effort to interact. Furthermore, he sees power as something that not only exists interpersonally, but inside the person as well. Although he doesn't analyze human psychology in the detail that Freud does, at least not from the standpoint of trying to identify specific drives, and even then Freud does it in collections, Nietzsche certainly thinks that we have multiple drives, and these multiple drives inside ourselves are all vying for dominance. He certainly thinks that much of what we do, what motivates us, isn't really conscious to us. And what, in fact, is conscious to us tends to be conscious to us in a way that is consistent with the behest of some drive. So whatever drive he thinks is most influential in us at any given time is going to shape the way we understand a situation. Consciousness, in other words, follows the dictates of drives which are largely unconscious. Consciousness doesn't dictate to the drives. Now, this creates a problem if what you want is the truth, because everything is going to be presented even internally, even before you start thinking about trying to get other people to agree with you or behave in certain kinds of ways that maximize your influence. You're going to have difficulty figuring out actually who it is that is seeing things as they seem to be at any given moment. Not who it is, whether it's someone else or you, but who are all these multiple parts of you that are drives, each seeking to control the display, so to speak. And there we end up having a real problem. So Nietzsche thinks there's no avoidability of lying if what you attempt to do is present anything that you have to say as the truth. Certainly we don't have the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. In fact, we don't even have the truth in that sense when we're alone by ourselves trying to understand how it is. There's always going to be some part of us that comes to the fore and manipulates things in its direction, and other ways that we can see things, drives that we have that assume the background. But this is continually changing, because after all, if we've got multiple drives, all of which are clamoring for expression, it typically is going to happen that these drives end up at different points taking over for each other, or basically removing one from dominance